Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr. This is episode 352 of CryptoBiography, and it's the free Censor, part 3, and here we go. He was just leaving an interview for yet another job, which looked again like he wasn't going to get, when a long black car pulled up in front of him. The back door opened, and a man was seated inside. "I'd like to have a word with you, Thom 53, he said. "Who are you?" Thomas asked. "John 2, the man replied. Thom looked him over. He was well dressed in a beautifully made business suit, even to his amateur eye. He was clean-shaven, and his short hair was similarly businesslike. "What is this about?" Thom asked. "Your future," John said. "You recently graduated, but you haven't been used to your full potential. We would like to rectify that." John, too, moved away from the door, deeper into the rest of the car. Thom got in and closed the door. They drove in silence. Thom didn't bother to ask where they were going. John, too, he could tell, the way everyone could tell, was from the government. They would go where John wanted them to go. Thom had never met a 2 before. He'd never met anyone above 9 before. That Mary 12, his advisor for the graduation thesis, had been less than a 15 was shocking. Thom 53 was just another part of the muddy middle of society. He had hoped graduation would move him down in number, but it hadn't happened yet, and it likely wouldn't until he had gotten a position. He had kept his distance from other people, and as was only proper. Even his parents rarely heard from him. This had the natural effect of keeping him from getting into entanglements that could be negative to society. But it was a slow way of improving one's level. They were taken to a great flat block of a building. Though it technically had windows, they were wide but narrow, as though the building were squinting out at the world with a suspicious eye. They walked into the building, and then Thom was escorted by John 2 through hallway after hallway until he was sure he didn't know how to get back out without searching. They entered a room without windows, and only a few chairs around a large, bare table. The table was bare, but 4 of the 6 chairs were already filled. John 2 pointed Thom to one of the empty chairs and sat at the other one opposite him. John was the only one who spoke. He did not introduce the other 4, 2 men and 2 women, none of whom Thom recognized, nor did they say anything. "A special position has opened up," John said, "one of great importance to the government. It is a censor's position. If you accept it, you'll be taught by the other censors what to look for in various kinds of writing and how to prevent anything going out that isn't in line with the government's wishes." "Are these the censors?" Thom asked with a vague wave at the other 4 people. John shook his head. "No, they are here to observe." What exactly that meant, Thom didn't know, but decided not to ask about it. John said, "The pay is excellent, $70,000 per year, and would go up. There's even room for advancement, once you have proven yourself." Again, Thom wasn't quite sure what that meant, and decided again that they would like it better if he didn't press the matter. "Well, you've certainly intrigued me," Thom said. "I don't think I need any more reasons to accept." "Excellent," John 2 said. "I'll get you an escort to the front desk. They'll give you a card with the address here, so you can make your way back. I think we can wait until Monday for you to start." John 2 rose, and so did Thom, but the other 4 remained seated. Thom wondered if they would be discussing him once he left. John 2 opened the door. He must have a way to signal for other people, because a woman was there already. She gave a quick nod to Thom, then turned. Thom followed her, and she led him to the front desk. 2 people were there, a man and a woman, and the man stood up when he saw Thom and his guide. He gave Thom a card and simply said, "We'll see you Monday. There's a car out front. It will take you home." Thom left, feeling a little dazed. That was Thursday. After a long weekend of mostly wondering what would happen, he showed up early Monday morning. They took him down more long passages that he knew he would have a long time memorizing. Finally, he got to a large room with shelves of books along the walls and rows of desks, well separated, with 1 person to a desk. They showed him to his desk, which had more desks all around it. The shelved walls were all at least 30 feet from his desk. The person who showed him to his desk was replaced, not by someone who worked in the room, but by another person who simply showed up and stood next to his desk. The person, who never introduced himself, explained that what documents would be brought to him. He would go over them, and there were several ways he could make suggestions for censorship or give a report with more general recommendations for changes. "Don't worry about making a mistake," the person said. "Every document goes through multiple levels. If the person before you didn't catch something, you will. If you don't, the next one will, until it's certain the document is safe for consumption." Who makes that decision? We have people who do just that. They have been censors for a long time and know the rules inside and out. "The books on these shelves," they said, waving their arm at the long walls lined with books, "contain all you need to know." Tom tried not to gulp audibly at the thought that he might have to read, let alone memorize, the volume of volumes that stretched out in front of him. "Where do I start?" he asked. "Read Volume 1, the tutor advised, and later today you'll be given your first document to censor. Remember, you cannot fail. The document will see multiple other hands before it goes out our doors, so do your best. We will judge you and nudge you and guide you." Tom nodded. He started reading Volume 1 of The Censor's Art, as it was titled. He learned about what was considered forbidden, what could not be countenanced in official documents, which was essentially all legally printed and legally distributed documents. The world needed to be scrubbed and cleaned before being presented. He'd known that. Everyone in society knew that. But he wanted to know how exactly to do that. He wanted to do a good job, so the loneliness he took on when he turned in his roommate had meaning. Fortunately, he found, once he got past the first volume, that much of the rest of the works did not need to be read. They contained the specific rules, and there were so many changes over the years, examples given and pulled away and altered, that the middle volumes were largely irrelevant. Only the last few volumes were really still used. These books he dove into with the zealousness only a recent college graduate could muster. He made notes, read and reread to make sure he understood, and made his way through. And late that day, though with a number of volumes still to go, he was given his first document to censor. It seemed simple enough. And that's the end of the story for this week. I hope you're enjoying it. I certainly am enjoying writing it. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook, X, or Mastodon. And thanks for listening. Words and music, copyright 2024. Brandon Starr, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.